ポラビエさん、はじめまして。皆さん、聞こえますか? Hello everyone, can you hear me right now? Are all the audio levels good? My voice not overpowering the background music and vice versa. And also, it seems that our commands are working, so please feel free to have fun with it. Hi, I will... ちょっと待って。Let me check. Oh, okay. So, it seems everything is good. So, I think we... Nani? Chotto matte. どうしよう。ビデオ。嫌だ。日本人ですか? すいません。日本人じゃないです。フィリピン人です。Hey Daniel, welcome to the stream. Okay, so yes, we're starting our stream and it seems we have already encountered our first technical difficulty in which the PC screen is not being shown. Ay, konbanwa. I forgot my Jiko Shokai. Wait, let me just fix this first and then we can continue. Oh. やばい。ちょっと待って。Okay, there we go. Okay, that was a close call. Okay, はい。さあ、始めます。はい、皆さん、今頃です。お久しぶりです。仮想空間に閉じ込められて、外の人間を用意した白熊VTuber Gororonこと金田語呂です。Hello everyone, it's your cyberspace-trapped polar bear VTuber Goro Kaneda, and it's been a while. And looks like all of our effects are working as intended, which is good. And the chat and the window chatter is finally working properly. Probably something with OBS has been done. And yeah, I believe we can continue. Okay, what's this? So it's been a while. I have not been able to stream for the entirety of February. I was supposed to. Oh, I'm Korean. I thought you were Japanese because your character is so cute. Thank you. Now I'm blushing. Too bad I don't have a blush emote for my for Goro over there. Okay. Feel free to relax and probably brew yourself a cup of tea or coffee or whatever can help you chill down. The general vibe of the stream is just chill vibes. Sometimes chaotic when we're doing like cooking streams, but overall it's just relaxing. As you can see there are the overhead camera and table camera windows are disabled. Normally, I have those for when I'm playing games like Beatmania or Dance Dance Revolution. But at the moment, I have not had enough time to set them up, so they are disabled for now. Okay, so where were we? Oh, yeah. I have not been able to stream for the entirety of February because things happened. Many things happened. But I at least had enough time to manage to compile all of my photos for this slideshow, in which we're gonna be discussing what I did last February, which is chocolate tempering, which is why it's titled there, chocolate tempering, a retrospective. I believe I can start the slideshow now. The problem with this is once I start the slideshow, I will not be able to view OBS here or the chat, so I will have to view them from my phone. Let me just load that up. But first, I have to log in into Hosamo because I forgot to log in into Hosamo. Oh, there we go. Okay, we logged in into Hosamo. We can now ignore it for the rest of the night. Now, let's just load in YouTube. And view my stream. ちょっと待ってね。ちょっと。はい。Okay, there we go. We can now see Also, if you can see the chat, bot there, blah 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 blah. Sorry, I ran out of words. Okay, now sometimes the chatbot will show automated messages there in the chat window. Don't be alarmed because those are pre-programmed. That's done by a streamer bot. It's an automated chatbot software that you can do pretty much nearly anything with. I also have that program for when I'm doing Twitch streams. The only thing that has limitations is it's not able to connect to Twitcast. Other than that, yeah, there's gonna be insanity happening around YouTube and Twitch chat streams. If I recall, I added a help command here. Oh no, it's not the help command. Let me see what command was it? Okay, let's view. Command list. If you want to play with the chatbot, here are a list of commands. Just type in exclamation point and the name of the command, and then you'll be able to see them. There we go. List of available commands. So feel free to have fun. Okay, now we can start our slideshow. Let me just full screen this. Okay, there we go. Alright, we can start our slideshow. We have here, it is Choko o temparing suru, Furikairi. Chocolate tempering, a retrospective. Why is it a retrospective? Because, as I've said earlier, we did this last February. And I was supposed to do it on stream, but tempering was a stressful process. So I decided not to, and just made it into a slideshow. And we are gonna be looking back at what I did. And I'm also gonna be discussing some of the insanity that happened in between. Okay. So, the first step that I did was the easy part, making, well, quote-unquote easy part. You'll see why it went down later on. Making colorful ganache. In this, what's this? There, I ran out of, but I run out of words quite frequently. Let me take some time to relax. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what we have here is irotoridori no ganache o tsukuru. Okay, making colorful ganache. This was the first thing that we did because this is the easiest, quote-unquote easiest part, but what happened later on during the process was borderline masochism. Okay, so first is cutting and weighing the chocolate. We have here white and dark chocolates. The dark will be for our shades of brown, and our white there is for the other colors and for making other colors lighter. Essentially, what we're gonna be doing also is we're gonna be mixing some of the white chocolate onto the dark chocolate ganache once they were made, if we want lighter shades of brown. But other than that, the white chocolate will be used for the colors. Okay. And there, as you can see, they're roughly equal. The dark chocolate was 106 grams and the white is 109. You do not need to... What's this? You do not need to necessarily follow the weights here. You can make... you can freely use what... you can freely use any amount. Because in the end, you're gonna be following the ratio of chocolate to cream, which is 2:1 on chocolate to cream for ganache filling. Okay, so next we have now separating sprinkles by color. You can see the Japanese title there is different because what I did here was pretty much borderline masochism. This was the hard part. Okay, so context. I was supposed to use food coloring, pre-prepared food coloring, but somehow I did not have it on hand. What I did have on hand though was rainbow sprinkles. So, going desperate, what I did was try and get a bunch of sprinkles, separate them by color until I have roughly enough of what I need. And so as you can see there, there's the container of rainbow sprinkles, and there the plate with each color separated. I do not recommend you do this. Do this when you're desperate. But other than that, I recommend just going for either liquid food coloring, gel food coloring, or powder food coloring. Powder will be good, especially if you're gonna be using pure chocolate instead of ganache. Sadly though, I could not find any powder food coloring on hand. Next, okay, the warming and adding cream. This is where we're gonna be making the base ganache now. So as you can see there, the weight of the cream that I use is 106 grams. That will be split between the two chocolates, the white and the dark, as you can see in the other picture there. So what you're gonna do here is just microwave it until it's warm enough. What's this? Until it's warm enough to the touch, because chocolate melts at roughly body temperature. So you just need it to be warm enough to the touch. You do not need it boiling hot. So just melt it and split it around the chocolates, and then just stir them. I think in the next slide we get them done. Okay, there we go now. So here is where we do the coloring of the ganache now. In the first pic there on the left side, you can see both the dark and white chocolate ganache. Excuse me. As you can see, the white doesn't look white. I don't know if that's just how white chocolate is when melted, but we'll be working with that one. And as you can see in the right pic, and in the right post pic, that is the second picture. Okay, I have not established order for these pictures. I am sorry. I will just narrate which one is the next pic. For that, I apologize. Okay, so we have no comments so far. Okay, we can continue. Okay, where are we? Okay, second picture. We have now split the chocolate, the white chocolate into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into 6 bowls for each color respectively. As you can see on the third pic, we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. Okay, so I'll explain each color. Let's see if I can move my mouse. Okay, here, these two here, these two, one of them is supposed to be just base white, and the other I added the white sprinkles, which the intended effect was to make it whiter, but somehow that did not happen. So I just went along with it. And then we have here orange, blue, red. Oh wait, sorry. We have orange, blue, red, and green. Green. Okay, for green, rather than using green food coloring, I had matcha on hand, so I used that one instead. I mean, you already have matcha, might as well just use it. So at least you have something that actually has a different flavor. Now for, where's my mouse? Mouse. Oh, there we go. Okay, here. This one right here. This is the one below matcha. That is supposed to be midnight black chocolate. What I was supposed to do is I was supposed to use black cocoa powder to make it blacker than usual, but I did not have that on hand. So what I instead did is I used crushed Oreos and Dutch cocoa just to make it at least somewhat darker. But that had the unintended effect of looking chunkier because of the crushed Oreos. I have not crushed them enough. So that's one thing. Always have food coloring and dark cocoa on hand if you're gonna be doing this, because you do not know when things do not go the expected way. When things do not go how you expect it to go. And lastly, there we have a regular dark chocolate ganache. So with our colors ready, we just set them aside in the fridge, because after this, we will now be doing the tempering. Okay, before we proceed, let's see our comments. Then you says, what will work as the white coloring then, if ever? In this case, probably, I have not tried it yet, but maybe if you're using ganache, just go for white food coloring. I am not sure how it will work, but in this case, just try and add as much as you can until it goes a pale white. I do not know if milk powder will work. No, milk is not white. It's more of an off cream color. So yeah, I recommend using for ganache white food coloring instead. Be it if you're using pure chocolate, then use powder or oil-based food coloring. For ganache, you can use either oil-based or powder, or water-based food coloring. Because it's ganache anyway, it already has liquid mixed into it. If you're using pure chocolate, you cannot use water because it will seize. Okay, we can. Where was I? Oh yeah, when you're using chocolate, when you're using just pure chocolate instead of ganache, just use food coloring. This goes for both pure chocolate that only has cocoa butter, and for compound chocolate that is mixed with some vegetable oils. Either way, chocolate is a mixture of cocoa powder and some sort of fat, either cocoa butter or vegetable oil. In which case, if it has vegetable oil, there is regulation in different countries on how it should be called, but we will not go into that because that is a different topic altogether. Either way, if just chocolate, use oil-based or powder-based food coloring. If using ganache, then you can also use water-based food coloring. Okay, moving on to tempering chocolate, aka the hard part, the tedious part, the part that you should not do unless you are really masochistic enough or dedicated enough to the craft. Okay, here we go. Tempering chocolate. What I used here is Meiji milk chocolate because for most Japanese people, this is what's accessible to them, and I just wanted to follow suit. If you're really serious about tempering, then I recommend using couverture chocolate, which has more cocoa butter and will flow more freely compared to this. Because this has already been tempered and probably already has a finish to it. Or it's specifically formulated to be more solid. Okay, I do not know the words to that one. Either way, yeah, it's best you just use couverture instead. Or Meiji dark chocolate, because Meiji dark chocolate has vegetable oils mixed into it, which makes it a compound chocolate, which means it does not need tempering. But in this case, we use Meiji milk, which needs to be tempered. So yeah, as we said there, milk choco o tsukaimasu. Eto, 3分の1のチョコを Oh, I forgot that kanji. Then you 助けてください. What was that kanji again? 3分の1のチョコを I forgot. I should really have a script ready. I should have a hiragana script ready for some of the things that I use here. Excuse me for a bit. I'll just have a bit of my dinner. I haven't had dinner yet. Because prior to the stream, I have actually been doing my workout, and I had to rush it just to make it in time for the stream. Okay, then it says oite okimasu. Okay. Okay, so 3分の1のチョコを置いておきます。So yeah, set aside 1/3 of the amount of the chocolate that you use. And then next we're gonna be melting it in the microwave. 電子レンジにチョコを溶けます。I don't know if I used the right kanji for that one, then you feel free to check. I was supposed to send this to you for proofreading if all the terms I used are right, but we're just gonna do it as we go. Okay, so as you can see in the picture there, I'm holding a infrared thermometer. You use that to check the temperature of the chocolate because tempering is a very temperature sensitive process. So you melt your chocolate up to 38 to 40 degrees and no more, because any more and you might ruin the chocolate and just make it unusable for what you're about to do. So in there, 38とHow do I say between 38 and 40 degrees? Oh! I think, then you had... Okay, it is correct. So how do I say between 38 and 40 degrees? Rather verbally. I already said it there, but I forgot how to say it verbally. What I can think of is 38と40度の間 is の間に the right term for that? I forgot to add it there. Okay, we'll do that again. 38と40度の間に以上。Okay, I should have used の間に。Probably. Okay, you know what? I'll skip that. I mean, it also works. So we can say it as 38と40度の間になります。Instead of what we did there, 以上になりません, which it means do not exceed 38 to 40 degrees Celsius. Wow, we took an excessive amount of time just learning the Nihongo. I am so sorry. We will move on to our next slide now. Nothing much to talk about here since we just melted the chocolate. And now the second part, which is actually cooling it down. So what you do here is when you're melting the chocolate to 30 to 40 degrees, for milk, in this case for milk chocolate, dark chocolate has a higher heat capacity, so the temperatures for that one are different. In this case, if you're buying couverture, usually it has guides for the temperatures, for the working temperatures. But in this case, we're just working with a ballpark since this is just Meiji milk chocolate that's not meant for tempering. And we're just using general guides that we learned from the internet. In any case, so after melting, what happens is usually the cocoa butter crystals, every single one from type 1 to type 4, from type 1 to type 5, they all melt. What tempering does is you try to melt everything, then recreate the cocoa butter crystals, and then melt everything from type 1 to type 3 because you do not want those. They melt below body temperature. You want those that melt at roughly around body temperature, which is around 32 to 34 degrees Celsius. And that is type 5, type 4, and type 5 crystals. But you want more type 5 than type 4. So, what you're doing in tempering is, first, melt it at 38 degrees Celsius. You melt everything. You melt all the crystals. And then here, you're gonna be using that chocolate that we set aside as a quote-unquote seed chocolate that contains the type 5 crystals. And what it does is, as you put it in the untempered chocolate, it helps the type 5 crystals form properly. It helps the type 5 crystals form kind of like, as we said, a seed chocolate. It's kind of like building blocks that help it form. Many videos on YouTube explain this process better than me, but in this case, we'll try our best to explain what I did. So okay, nokoshita choco o kuwaimasu. So we add the remaining chocolate, and then we cool it down to roughly 28 degrees Celsius. Visually, it will look from glossy to a little bit matte, and the texture will be slightly thicker because yes, it's cooling. And the picture there is 29 degrees Celsius because I could I remember I had a picture of it at 28 degrees, but somehow I forgot, so I just used that one instead. Hence the laughing emoji, or the laughing net speed. So how you do the process in pulling this down is, as you can see, I have a bowl of ice water there. You do not need to do that, especially if you're in a cold environment, but in my case, the kitchen was a bit hot, and I need things to cool down a bit more. So sorry, I'm losing words. So that's why I had a bowl of ice water on hand. Also, I do not recommend using ceramic bowls if you're gonna use the microwave method for tempering because ceramic retains heat. It's best that you use plastic bowls for this if you're using the microwave method. There are multiple methods for tempering, but in this case, what I use is a microwave tempering method. I could have used stove top. As you can see there, we have a stove, but I'm lazy. Okay, I'm lazy, but I still went with tempering anyway. Okay, where were we? So we are already cooling down the chocolate, and we cooled it down to roughly 28 or below. 28 degrees below, and it's already looking pretty matte. And then after that, once you cool it down below 28 degrees Celsius, that means cocoa butter crystals have already started forming. That ranges from type 1 to type 5. Now, the problem is, again, we do not want that type 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, some of the 4. But either way, we do not want type 1 to type 3 crystals in the end product because that will make the chocolate melt faster than it should. So what we do is, after cooling it down, we heat it up again to 30 degrees Celsius. Depending on the chocolate that you're using, it has tolerances. Sometimes it works around 30 to 32 degrees for milk chocolate. For dark chocolate, it's around 32 to 34. And for white, it usually just works the same as milk since they're both containing milk fat. But either way, for milk chocolate, a safe ballpark is around 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, we can move on to our next slide. Korekara. And from this point on, tempering o wasurero. Forget everything about tempering. Context. After tempering the chocolate, I was pouring it in the molds, but the room I was in where I was doing the molding, it was too cold, and the chocolate had already started to solidify by the time I was pouring it in the molds, and I was just having a hard time doing it. And going through the process again is tedious enough, so I just said, forget everything. And what I did, I just used the chocolate untempered, because forget it. If you still wanna use tempered chocolate at this point, go ahead. But in my case, I just got really frustrated and just went with using untempered chocolate. As you can see there is the the table clip irasto. So yes, here Toketa Choco o Sonomama de Tsukao. So at this point, we can just use untempered chocolate if we want. Though there are methods of tempering wherein what you do is just you melt the chocolate partially, or at least melt it just until it reaches a degree or so below the working temperature but remains liquid enough. Because how liquid the chocolate will be dependent on the cocoa butter content. In this case, I believe Meiji milk chocolate does not have enough butter cocoa content to make it liquid for pouring. So that's why I had to melt it completely just to make it liquid enough to be pourable into molds. But for couverture, usually that has a higher cocoa butter content. So that's definitely usable for molding and making chocolate shells. Normally, they have indicators on the packaging to indicate how liquid the melted product will be. So again, check the references for your for the couverture that you use. In which case, we are moving on to probably the last two parts, which I do not have enough pictures of. So first, the molding and filling. As you can see there, I've made a mixture of different colors using the base colors that we made earlier. And I just filled the shells. As you can see there, it's a mess. It's a mess. I tried to make it work as best as I could. So what you do is, for making the chocolate shells first, so you pour the chocolate in the mold, then scrape the tops off, pour it back onto the bowl, and then let the chocolate on the molds set for a bit, so at least you can have a thick enough shell. And then pour the excess chocolate back into the bowl, so you can create hollow shells for filling. So that's what I did there. And then fill it with whatever you want, fruits, nuts, or in this case, multicolored ganache. So what I did here for multicolored ganache is I layered it because I wanted to create the color schemes of different YouTubers. I did 5, but the last 2 failed miserably, and I only got 3 working. So I'll reveal them in the end here. So we have our results here now. So the results. So here are the 3 working YouTubers that I use. I remember I'm supposed to add the links to every YouTuber that's in here, but I forgot. So first is Monchan, aka Torado Monmon. He has a YouTube channel under his name Tradmo. Let me see if I can edit this. Okay, we'll take a pause for a bit so we can just add the YouTube URLs of each single one here, because I do not want to get in trouble. So we'll just go into intermission for a bit. Okay, we're going to intermission and just add the URLs. Mm-hmm. Toradamon mo. Okay, are we back? Okay, there we go. Let's just start our slideshow again. Okay, so there we go, the results. And here we have three Camo VTubers that we have used for their base color schemes. There were two more, but they failed. So I only retained at least the ones that were relatively a success. So the first one there is Tradmonmon, and his color scheme is more like sunset colors. So I used different hues of orange and cream, and also a dark chocolate, a midnight chocolate underside for his beard, because that's pretty much his general color scheme. Sadly though, I could not get the layers even, so as you can see they're quite crooked, but at least they managed to show, so I consider that a win for now. And then the next one is Tatsugan Sakon. Their YouTube is also right there, and the general color scheme is different shades of green. Yes, different shades of green, and yeah, Sakon-san mentioned that he is a green tea dragon. So yes, matchup was enough for most of his color schemes. Although for the darker shade of green, what I did is a mix of matcha and a bit of hojicha powder. Now, hojicha is a roasted green tea, which is a more brownish hue, which kind of works with this. So yeah, as you can see below the green chocolate over here, here, there is a darker shade that's more grayish green, which corresponds to his hair. And then lastly, we have here Raigotodo, which is generally just a shade of cyan and green. I was supposed to add blue, but the blue I had was not blue enough. I was supposed to add blue for his tank top, which has a more blue color rather than cyan, but yeah, the blue I had was not blue enough for that, so I had to skip that completely and just use cyan and green. And that is all for now. I did not bother to show the rejects because they just did not really work and do not resemble the color schemes that I went for, that I was aiming for. So, but before we end, what I'm planning to do is I'm gonna be doing this again, but this time I'm using compound chocolate, which does not need tempering, so that's less stress on my part. And I'll be doing the multicolored ganache again, but this time I already have food coloring on hand, multiple colors. I also got some black and brown, which will definitely help with this. And I'll be doing some different VTuber color schemes next. Hopefully it's a success. Now, the problem that I have, the mold that I used earlier for this one, it broke. It snapped in half. So I will need to find a new one, and preferably something that has deeper cavities. So at least I can fill it with more stuff rather than these ones, because these ones are too shallow. Too shallow that some of the colors do not show through. And I believe that is all for now. Yeah, that is all for now. That is the end of our slideshow. Yeah, there we go. End of our slideshow. And I believe, yes, that is all that we have. Oh, Reijang-san. Sorry, I did not notice that you're here. Hi, Reijang-san, konbanwa. Eto, nan kore. Reijang, the hardcore Monmon fan just arrived by introducing Monmon chocolate. You're right on time, yes. I just introduced the Monchan chocolate. I will try redoing Monchan for the White Day chocolate making special. When is White Day anyway? Yeah, I know it's March 14, but when is March 14 in the calendar? Oh, Tuesday. That means we will have to do this on the 18th or 19th, because only in weekends am I free. Cross fingers that I am free on those weeks, so I can do the White Day, post-White Day chocolate making. Hello to the Monmon chocolate. I will try doing this again, and this time with better coloring and better results. Cross fingers that I can do everything right for White Day. And with that, I think we can end it here. Okay, wait, before that, then you says here, not gonna lie, YouTube channels having proper handles saves a lot of headaches, yes. Because before the handles, Monchan and the others' names were pretty much just, I think, hashes of whatever characters they use. It's one of YouTube's weird quirks. But yeah, at least that's done. Okay. We are done here. It's 11:32, which is roughly 12:32 around Japan. So we can definitely end it here. So a shout out to Dendryu Rider, or also Wataru Dendrai, who streams mainly on Twitch. You can find them at twitch.tv/Dendryu Rider. Sorry, I'm not able to do proper shoutouts here, except only on Twitch. And also, yeah, Reijang-san, thank you for coming in when it's almost the end. And also, yeah, I think I can show it here. The hug command. Let's see if it works. Oh, there we go. Okay, if you want a hug from me, just type in hug. Yeah, before I completely end the string, yeah. If you wanna have fun with the commands, go. Yeah, it's a cross-platform. Yes, the commands are cross-platform. Thanks to StreamerBot. Thanks to StreamerBot, yeah, it's a cross-platform thing. There's also this. Let's hope I do not get content ID for that. Although for the get done earlier, I believe I'm already content ID. What else? Oh, Gold Rush. So that is all of our commands here. But not everything. Oh! This one. I love that one. Okay. Yeah, that is most of the commands that we have here. I will be planning. I'm planning to add more as time goes on, especially now that it's easier to add more stream insanity. But yes, we will end it here. はい。じゃあ、皆さんこれ以上です。どうもありがとうございました。はい。もう一度。はい。皆さんこれ以上です。おつごろでした。どうもありがとうございました。次の配信と別の動画へお会いしましょう。It's been so long that I forgot how I do my outro. じゃあ、またね。バイバイ。Reminds me of someone and I'm partially expecting that it was you who also gave that guy the BSOD reading. Oh no, it wasn't me. If anything, he gave it to me. はい、またね。バイバイ。Have a good night, everyone. We go to our logo.